Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Altcoin Era and this is your boy Ahmed, and today we're going to look through the crypto markets. So let's begin. BTC is currently dipping and alts are making a massive drawdown, but don't forget to zoom out. We are right over here in the cycle, the red arrow pointing to the cheat sheet. We are just in the beginning of the bull market. We're just away from optimism, then belief, then thrill, and then finally euphoria. So let's just take a better perspective and zoom out for a minute and remember where we are in the cycle. Don't let the bears scare you. Don't let them convince you we're about to see a top, that we're about to see a recession, that we're about to see interest rate cuts. Don't let them convince you and make you fumble your bags. BTC yesterday generated 78,309,000 US dollars in just fees alone. It superseded Ethereum and it 24x. Ethereum only made 3.2 million US dollars, and it was all because of one protocol. I did tell you about this protocol, and it's called Runestone. This is Runestone, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a layer 2 protocol on BTC. You know I'm very passionate about BTC layer 2s. You know I'm very, very passionate. I think they're going to do amazingly well. Join my private members club, and in there we look for low cap gems. Anyway, so we have Runestone here. It was launched on the halvening and it's currently down 48.9%. Let me show you here. So this is it right here. And it's a NFT play basically. You can buy NFTs on the Bitcoin chain, the Bitcoin layer. And these were some lucky people who were airdropped. The fees in Bitcoin went to an astronomical amount, mainly because of Runestone. The creator of Runestone is also the creator of Ordinals, and he's made this project and he's got a lot of momentum and a lot of hype. So these are some of the hot collections. Have a look, try them out, check it out, and it's really, really impressive. And they've got so many different projects that are moving in to Runestone. It's fast, quick, and you can also use Solana on here. You can use a bunch of different protocols, and it's really, really good. It's got the whole ecosystem coming back again, and I think Ordinals and Runestone is going to do really, really well. So make sure you buy Ordinals and make sure you buy Runestone. You may or may not be aware, but the biggest event just happened. It was a few days ago when we had the halving. It was a big, big event. Happens every 4 years, every 210,000 blocks. The BTC network is halved. The issuance was decreased from 6.25 to 3.125. It got cut in half. And now the miners, they should have been aware, but the miners are going to have problems with profitability. Either they have to get rid of the miners and buy some new tech, some new miners, which they should have been prepared anyway. And now it's costing them more money to make BTC. Marathon pre-halvening, it was cost them around 18,000. Post-halvening, cost them a whopping 38,000. Also, Bit Digital, same thing. Then you have BitDeer, where pre-halvening it cost them around 13,000 US dollars to mine Bitcoin, and post-halvening it cost them 33,000 US dollars. As BTC miners find it more and more difficult to mine BTC, they need to pivot, and in their business model they've chosen AI. Bitcoin miners may shift focus to AI after halving. Miners will be faced with a substantial cost increase as a result of halvening, with electricity and Bitcoin production cost almost doubling. Bitcoin miners may shift towards AI due to potential higher revenues. The average Bitcoin production cost post-halving is about 53,000 US dollars. Some miners are actively managing financial liabilities and using excess cash to pay down debt, the report said. So what they're going to do is they're going to just pivot away from BTC mining and they're going to go into AI. AI is definitely the play, and that's the future in my opinion. Everyone's going to be more and more in this space, and it needs the infrastructure. I'm very, very bullish in 3 places. Very, very bullish. It's AI, infrastructure, and lastly, crypto. I'm very, very bullish in all 3. Let's talk about liquidity. Liquidity is very, very, very important, and it's a must for everyone in the crypto space to pay attention to liquidity. Liquidity is the most important thing in the entire space. QE and fiscal printing and quantitative easing and money printing and such go hand in hand with BTC. Whenever we have a surplus in liquidity, guess what happens? BTC skyrockets. Whenever we have QT like we did in 2022, guess what happens? BTC falls. So it's very, very simple, and they work in tangent. They work together. So right now we have a pullback in liquidity. So what's going to happen to BTC? I'm not saying it's going to happen every single time, but maybe 7 out of 10 times we find that the price of BTC comes down due to liquidity. There's a tightening era. There's an era where there's more tightening, and maybe in Q1 we're going to see a fiscal deficit, or we're going to see a liquidity squeeze. This is a model, and this is supply side delta plus the 90 CDD. These are 2 metrics are great at identifying cycle tops. After they go vertical, watch for a rounded top in both metrics. Both of these metrics have gone vertical today. So we're just going to look at certain models to identify the tops. But bear in mind, I promise you, you just need to look outside. You can look at models. This will help you. If you're like a data-driven person and you prefer data, I'm going to provide you the data. But to be fair, you're going to see it in the streets. You just know when there's mania. People that shouldn't be talking about crypto are going to be talking about crypto. From the cab drivers, to your barber, to your teachers, to police officers, public servants, they're all going to speak about it. Even when you're on the train, you're commuting from work, you're just going to know that we've found the top, honestly. But these metrics and these models are going to help you. They're going to help you identify and find the data needed to exit at the top. Hopefully, you're going to find the top. Here is another model. It's called the LTH inflation. It's called the long-term holder inflation rate. At the moment, we're at 0.5 as of today. We will still have quite a bit of room until we get to 2.0. 2.0 is the threshold. Typically, once we hit 2.0, that's a likelihood of a crypto cycle top. Here is another model, and it's called the hodler growth rate. This metric finds the diamond hands. And when the diamond hands start taking profits, it typically means we've hit the top. So diamond hands, they hold for a very, very long time. Sometimes 4 years, 5 years plus, maybe 10 years. These are really hardcore Bitcoin enthusiasts and maxis. So when they start to sell, and they normally sell 6 to 9 months before the peak. So this is a telltale sign. We've already begun. It's a telltale sign that we're nearing the top. Maybe 6, maybe 9 months, maybe 12 months away. BTC, mean transactions fees. This is a period where high transaction fees suggest that there's a spike in demand. As you can see, there is no spike. So whenever we find a spike like 2017, like 2013, 14, these kind of periods mean there's a lot of mania and euphoria in the system. However, the catch is, if you look at 2021, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at 2021, we didn't really see a massive spike. So it could also mean that people are not using the network like before, and they're just using it as a store of value instead of before, where people actually used it as a payment system. But now people are using it less and less on chain, and they're just using it as a store of value at the moment. So this can be an indicator which is maybe out of date or possibly lagging. You can go through all the information yourself, and you can go on Glassnode right here, and you can check all the data yourself. This is an on-chain platform where it looks at all of BTC's information out there on the chain, and it brings it to you in a concise, easy way to read. And this is the information a lot of folks use Glassnode to find the tops and the bottoms. But like I said, to make life even more easier, just step outside, stop looking at models and step outside. But those that like hardcore facts and hardcore data to make their analysis, then Glassnode is definitely one to follow. And this chart and this model is the net unrealized profit and loss, NUPL. The red mark symbols holders that are in loss. The orange line are just breaking even. Maybe the yellow line are breaking even. Then you get to green, where it is euphoria, and then you get to blue, the blue line, and that means it's complete mania. We haven't reached there at the moment. We're at the green line, and we're just very close to mania. But bear in mind, mania lasts for a while. It lasts for between maybe 3-4 months. Last time, let me check how long mania lasts for. So mania lasted till how long? Let me see the 1 weekly. It was how many bars? From there, I would say all the way there, mania was around 64 bars. So about 2 months to be precise. 64 days was mania. We're not quite there yet. We are at the green line and we're waiting for the blue line. This one's important. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, just go step outside, and when your mom calls you or your dad calls you, or a long distance friend calls you about BTC and crypto, that's a good sign to start selling, honestly. Another model is the spent volume lifespan, between 7 to 10 years. Wallets typically unload around cycle tops. You can see a growing cluster and spikes in spent volume to help guide areas of growing risk. Large whales from previous cycles typically unload during cycle tops. Can you notice the massive, huge spike near the bottom? That period was when SBF, the founder of FTX, that was a period when FTX collapsed, and literally there was a massive spike in BTC. I think literally he just completely sold BTC in the open market just to save his business and just to try to make holders whole again. But it didn't work. He's in prison for the next 30 odd years, maybe life. But it is worrying. We are seeing a cluster of volume at the moment, and we still have some more time. So during this cycle, we're not early, neither are we late in this cycle. We're just in the sweet spot. We're just in the middle, and this is what I'm trying to emphasize. I'm trying to emphasize that this is the time where you buy the dips. This is called value buys. You buy these dips, literally. And if you don't have any money or any dry powder, then just sit on your hands, relax, sit on your hands, and just do nothing for the next year. And this is a more simple version of how many people are in profit. And the higher we are to like 95, 96, 97, the higher we are at these percentages, it means more and more people are sitting in profits. So what's going to happen? If more and more people are sitting in profits, people are going to obviously take profits. So this is worrying, and this does show that we peaked and we have found a top. But there's so many other indicators, and some indicators are counter, some indicators are false indicators, some indicators will be lagging, some indicators will be leading indicators. So some of them are like juxtaposed, where one is completely opposite to another indicator. So you have to really cipher through this data and really find out concrete data that can help you find the market top. We are nowhere near the top. We're just in the middle. We're just in the middle. And I could show you by this chart. It's on Into the Cryptoverse, and it's a good chart. It's the logarithmic regression bands. And as you can see here, let me just zoom in. We haven't even got to the upper ranges of the red band. We're still close to the lower section, the lower bands. What we need to do is we need to get to these upper ranges. There's the upper range of 192,000, and the really, really higher range is at 287. That's if we do it in June, which we all know that's not going to happen. So last time we didn't quite make it to the very top upper band. So let me show you here. We didn't really make it all the way to the upper band. The first peak, we actually made it to the lower band of the bubble risk curve. But on the second attempt, we didn't manage to do that. Although we did make an all-time new high, technically we did make an all-time new high, but we didn't. And now this time, we still have a long, long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just say we get to a peak of, let's say, 2025. Oh, it doesn't even go all the way there. Where's 2025? Here we are. 2025. Okay. This is 2025. So let's just say this is 2026. Let me find 2025 for you. April, June. Okay. Zoom out. 2024. 2025. Let's do September to October 2025. Now, the middle of the range of a non-bubble upper range is 153,000. And the lower range is at 68,000. And the lower bubble range is at 296,000. The really upper range in November the 20th of 2025, it's at 444,000 US dollars. Now don't take this to the bank. Yeah, this is just a model like many other models that I've showed you before. And these models are helpful, but they can't really predict the price. Because at the end of the day, this is human nature we're dealing with. This is human nature, and this is fear and greed. And those two mixes is very, very difficult to predict. Like, we can't 100% predict the weather and where it's going to rain. That's almost impossible. But we can give you a ballpark that it's going to be cloudy. So this is a good kind of way to look at it. It gives you an indication, but don't put too much high expectations on these kind of stuff, because you're just going to get let down. Don't put too much expectation, and don't have too much high hopes. Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, then it didn't change your life. Yeah, it didn't really matter. You're still breathing, you're still living, you still have your family, your friends, your loved ones. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So if it doesn't get to these marks or these places that you think it's going to go to, don't beat yourself up, and don't get too overexposed. Don't over leverage. Be careful. And yeah, I'm just here to help. I'm here to show you my journey, and I'm here to know about your journey. I want to build a community, get to know people, and see how this journey goes. I've been through this journey many, many times. And if you do need help in navigating through the whole crypto market, just sign up. Just sign up, and it will help you tremendously. Honestly, it will help you, and it will go a long way. I want to talk about something. I really, really want to talk about something. And it's got to do with, hold on. It's got to do with oil prices. And it's got to do with the fear in the markets at the moment. So the S&P 500 is completely like taking a correction. But people are fearful, they're scared, and there's growing tension geopolitically. And I want to show you something that is interesting. Now stock market traders are not the most clever people in the space, really. They're not really clever people. They just get fed some news, which is most of the time misinformation. As Denzel Washington said, if you're not watching the news, then you're uninformed. And if you're watching the news, then you're misinformed. And I believe the stock market is misinformed. Because if you look at the oil traders, let me show you oil traders. This is their day-to-day job. Yeah, day-to-day job. And this whole geopolitical thing where Iran is getting into a whole heap of, where Iran is getting into a war with Israel, me personally, I think it's bullshit. I think it's just bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Number one, globally, we don't interact with Iran. Iran has been sanctioned to the wazoo. Like literally, they've been sanctioned. I don't know how that economy is still going. The only thing they're exporting now is oil. And I think it's like 1.2, 1.4 million barrels. And they're exporting this and they're selling it to the Indians and the Chinese. But other than that, they've been completely sanctioned. They can't really do any kind of business with any other country. So once this whole, when did Iran launches missiles to Israel? Let's find out actual day. Yeah. So launches missiles to Israel. So it was April the 13th. Launched explosive drones and fired missiles at Israel. So let's go back here and let's look at oil. So from here, because remember, everything tanked, right? So oil, if it was a big deal, yeah, oil prices would have spiked up, right? And the market would have thought or anticipated higher inflation. Because once you have a war in the Middle East, what happens? There's an embargo and oil goes up, and therefore inflation, we have more inflation. Because Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz. Now they control this whole Strait of Hormuz, and they have complete power over that, complete power of that strait. So they could easily just stop all the oil going through. Yeah, they can do that. And we will get oil prices at like $300, $400, $500. And they will cause an entire world war. The whole West will come knocking on their doors and demanding that they open back the Strait of Hormuz. And their whole empire and their whole Islamic State will completely get deteriorated and destroyed. But the point I'm trying to say is this. So oil, sorry for me digressing, it was on April the 13th. So if I go on April the 13th right here, just bear with me, it's heading somewhere, trust me. This is crude oil, and April 13th was right here. So let me just zoom in. Let me show you what really happened. Yeah. So April the 13th was here. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We dropped from here and we dropped all the way down. So let me show you a horizontal line. So on the 11th, 12th, 13th, from here, what's happened? We've gone all the way down. We've gone all the way down. Oil prices haven't gone up. Therefore, inflation's not going to go up. We have no, there is no side effects in this. Yeah, the market is having a scare and a fright. And oil traders that trade this every single day know much better than stock traders or crypto traders. But all of a sudden, it's risk off, guys. Oh my God, it's risk off. So I just think it's mispriced. I think stocks right now are completely mispriced. And I think it's going to go up higher. Now, remember Russia. On the 24th of February 2022, that was the war. Now, Russia is a massive, massive oil export. It's maybe top 3, top 4, top 5. It's up there in gas and oil. So guess what happened? A war broke out, and let's see what happened. So let's go to oil prices on that day. And let me zoom out and let me look for this day. Right here. Guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen? The war broke out between Russia and Ukraine. Subsequently, what happened? What happened? We spiked to an all-time new high. We spiked from here, where the war started, all the way up to $135. So we spiked all the way up to $129. And that was a Russia war. But we've had another war in Iran, and the price has gone down. It's not going to cause inflation. Nothing's going to happen. There is no tension needed. You don't need to get scared or fearful. The market doesn't need to get scared or fearful. It's mispriced, and we can carry on buying the dips. It's just this geopolitical war. It's just a drama show, just theatrics, in my opinion. So it's nothing real. If it was real, we would have seen the oil traders pushing up the prices to $129. But clearly the price dropped, which means it's not really a problem for inflation. Why did the market go down? Because they thought it was going to be another oil embargo, and we're going to find inflation heading back up higher. Remember where we are. Don't forget where we are in the cycle. Don't get scared. Don't let them scare you out of your positions, and please do not fumble the bags. Yes, you may have fumbled your bags in the past, but you need to concentrate on the bags you're going to fumble now. You need to concentrate on those bags now. Forget about the past. You lost out on this, you lost out on this, whatever the case may or may not be. Just focus on the bags you might possibly fumble now. Top gainers in the top 100. Number 1 is Sia Coin, and it's up 11.89%. Number 2 is Pedal. Pedal is doing really, really well. It's up 11.57%. So let's check out Pedal. Yeah, Pedal is doing really well. We've come back down. We've consolidated right above this resistance, this support, and we've head up higher. We made a strong bounce. Pedal's done really well, and the TVL is huge. It's massive. So let's check out the TVL. Like, look at the growth in this. Like, look at the growth. It was just non-existent. It had 171 million TVL, and now it's got 5 billion. Literally 5 billion, ladies and gentlemen. So that is incredible. From 5 cents to $6. Like, that is incredible. So congratulations to anyone that held Pedal. I remember buying Pedal, but I wish I bought it at these ranges. I wish I bought it around 10 cents. Like 10 cents to about 15 cents is when I started buying it. And then it went up to 50 cents. And then I carried on buying it. Then it got to 80 cents. And then I just stopped. And I'm going to take profits. Definitely need to take profits. Definitely. I think Near is really, really good. And a lot of people have been sleeping on Near, to be fair. Not a lot of people talk about it. And you know which other coin people really sleep on and don't give it the credit it deserves? It's BNB. Honestly, BNB is about to make an all-time new high. Like, before Ethereum, it's closer than Ethereum, closer than Solana, closer than any other coin. Yet no one's talking about BNB. Because I think in the background, CZ is really doing a madness in the background. I think he's really up to something. Like, he is a dark horse. So I think he's really in the background, behind the scenes, and he's really doing something, because the graph looks really good. Let me show you BNB. So this is BNB, yeah? And let me zoom out. Like, look, honestly speaking, like, let's look how close it is to all-time new high. Let me get rid of this. Like, a lot of people do not give BNB enough credit. Like, you have to, like, literally, like, it's outperforming Ethereum and Solana, yet people are not talking about this coin. Doesn't make sense. And some of the ecosystem in BNB is really, really good, but I guess everyone wants that new shiny coin. And so we're literally from here, let me pick from there, okay, to there. We're literally 10% away. Let's go from all the way to the wick, 15% away. Now let's compare that to Solana. Oh, okay, let me compare this to Solana. So Solana is how far away? 158, 258. So from here all the way to there is what? 70, almost 70%. While BNB is literally from all the way from wick to wick, 15%. And now let's look at Ethereum. Let's check Ethereum and let's compare the two. So look at this. Where's the very peak of Ethereum? Let me get my horizontal lines. And from here, which is like, it looks far already. It looks like 53%. Yet BNB is 15% away from all-time new highs. I believe Near is a dark horse. Honestly, Near is definitely a dark horse. If you want to get some good gains and you've got a large amount of money, the risk to reward, this is like, for me personally, this is risk. This is like low risk. So it's in the top 14, top 17 now. So I think a lot of people are sleeping on Near, to be fair, and it's definitely come a long way. Like, look at these prices. It was $1 and now it's at $7 in just about 6 or 7 months. Sometimes if you just buy the most safest kind of protocols, you get a good return. And sometimes we try to chase like 100x, 200x, 1000x, but sometimes it's just so much easier just to buy good quality projects. And there you have it, a nice 7x from $1 to $7. So you just 7x your initial income, or initial investment. So sometimes you don't need to overthink it, guys. You can just pick the top 10, top 15, top 20, top 50, and you'll be fine. The top gainers in the top 500, number 1 is Tribe, and it's gone up 90% in the past 24 hours. Number 2 is Bobcat, and it's gone up 53%. And number 3 is Forta, and it's gone up 33%. And finally, the top gainers in the whole crypto market space is number 1, Dogo, number 2, Red Luna, and number 3 is Alpha AI. I've got some honorable mention, and the first one is Mentis. Mentis is going to be an honorable mention today. I think Mentis has been undervalued for a long time now. I think it's gone down 67%. And just by the chart, I really like the chart. And we have massive volume at this. Hopefully, that's the absolute bottom. But we've got massive volume. You know what it is with markets? Markets go too much to one side and then too much to the other side. People get hella bearish and then hella excited. Like, we can't find a medium. For some reason, we can't give a medium price. We can never do that. And that's why we always oscillate between price. Sometimes it's undervalued, sometimes it's overvalued. And I think this is definitely a trade. I'm waiting for it to come back down, and then I'm going to capitalize. I'm going to press the trigger and shoot. And I'm going to go for a trade around 60, 61, that mark. And I'm definitely going to pull the trigger because I like this chart. I really like this chart. And I'll let you know how that went. BTC price targets currently at $66,110. We're up 1.79%. We haven't made a Wyckoff distribution. It got cancelled. We haven't gone lower. We just wicked there and then the bulls step back into the market. Looks like we're gonna continue to go sideways for a while. Ideally, what I'm looking for is the Bollinger Bands to contract. What I'm looking for is Bollingers to contract. And once they contract and they get thinner and thinner, what happens is we're going to see some volatility. We're going to move either to the upside or to the downside. As you can see here, example A, right here. The Bollinger Bands got really, really tight and volatility was absent. There was no volatility. So we kept on moving from here, oscillating from here, from a very, very tight range. That is ideally what I want to see for the bullish case. Normally, when these Bollinger Bands tighten, that means a rapid price movement or price action is about to happen. Right now, we are resetting. It looks like we're about to do a bullish cross on the MACD. The RSI looks relatively low. We could see another spike and we could see it continue to go up higher. Like I said before, the geopolitics happening in Iran and Israel is a nothing burger. It doesn't mean anything at all. So I think maybe the markets are starting to realize that we can go back to risk on. So assets can continue to go up higher and further. S&P is making a slight little bounce and it's making a recovery, a slight little recovery at the moment. We're currently up 0.6%. So this is given a added boost to BTC at the moment. And the DXY is currently at $106. Let me get rid of this. The dollar looks really, really strong. It looks really strong. Like it does. I have to admit. But it's got nothing to do with Iran or the geopolitics going on over there. It's mainly got to do with the yen. Like right now, Japan is really, really struggling. But all I can tell you is this is definitely not good news for the yen. Ethereum price targets currently at $3,185, and we're up 1.15%. And Ethereum is still kind of struggling. While Ethereum is the king of alts, yeah? And if Ethereum does bad, 9 out of 10 times the rest of the market does bad. We're making a bullish cross on the MACD. RSI, same thing as well. We've made a bottoming signal and we're closer to the range lows than we are to the range highs, which is bullish at the moment. We're going to see what happens. Maybe this is going to be the local bottom for the meantime, and we're going to head up higher. What we need to do is, ladies and gentlemen, we need to attack this line right here. We have massive resistance right here. This is the volume indicator and it's at $3,526. We need to break past this resistance. It has the highest volume. The rest is pretty much air. Like there's not really much happening. I think we can break past this resistance, but it's pivotal that we break past this resistance at $3,526. Once we do that, it's plain sailing. But this is where the bulls and the bears are going to battle it out. They're going to fight for this position. Solana price targets currently at $153, and we are up 3.28%. In the last few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, Solana has really plummeted hard. It's made a drawback of 40%. This is the time, ladies and gentlemen, where you buy the dip. I reiterate myself. This is the moment where you buy the dip. People were hella bullish when it was at $200, and now you're bearish at 150. Doesn't make any sense. You buy the dips, ladies and gentlemen. Volatility is the price we pay. Point blank period. Yeah? And if you were bullish on Solana at $200, why aren't you bullish on Solana when it's $120, $130, $110, $100? Should mean nothing to you, because right now you're a long-term holder. You're going to hold for a while. You're not in here for a quick flip. Like, you're not just going to buy this, hold for 2 weeks and leave. You're going to hold this for a few years. Like, this is how compounding works. You hold for a few years and you let your investments compound. Simple as that. ADA price targets currently at 51 cents. Now, ADA's really let me down. I was expecting ADA to do more, but ADA's more of a mid-curve play. It's not a left curve play. It's more of a mid-curve play, meaning retail come along and they buy ADA. They look at all the other cryptocurrencies. They look at ETH. ETH is at 3,000 odd number. They look at Solana, it's at 200. They look at BTC, it's at 70. And they look around and then they see ADA. That's when they buy ADA. It's more of a mid-curve play. It peaks later on in the cycle. Now I get it. There are a few people, a few holders that are very frustrated. It happens. It's part of the game. But you got to understand the journey of ADA. It moved sideways for how long? Literally for how long? Like in the previous bear market. Like it moved from here all the way to here for literally 945 days. 945 days. We've only gone sideways for how long? From here to here, we've gone how long? 574. Then let's put this into it as well. So we've gone sideways for 728 days. Now, if it was similar to the other bear market, then we would have gone sideways for 973 days. 973 days would mean then ADA will start moving on Monday the 17th, February 2025. And me personally, alts are going to absolutely go through the roof in 2025. We're going to see altcoin season in 2025. Like we might have thought we've seen altcoin season now. No. I don't think you understand altcoin season. I don't think you get it. Altcoin season is so epic. You have to be there. I can't explain it. I just cannot explain. Like it is absolutely phenomenal. Like you're going to wake up, look at your wallet, go back to sleep, wake up the next day and just see more and more zeros next to it. You're going to see more and more zeros. Like literally in a span of just 3 weeks, 4 weeks, your coins are going to go absolutely bananas. Like, but you know what the saddest reality is? And the saddest thing is, like, do you know what the saddest thing is? Like, there was so many people that became rich on paper. And I think maybe 1% actually cashed out. The rest, they never cashed out. And those coins never returned. They never came back. Now, it's easier to say than to do. Trust me, once you experience that feeling, it's very difficult. Like, it is difficult. Like, it is, honestly, like, it's easier to say. It's like saying, oh, I can bench 500 plates. It's like saying, oh, it's just like saying, oh, I can do 1,000 press-ups in 10 minutes. Yeah, I can do it. Like, but once you experience it and you actually do 1,000 press-ups in 10 minutes and you actually experience it, it's different. Altcoins are the same. Like, there were so many people that were rich on paper, unfortunately. So if you need some help, honestly, navigating through the crypto market, trust me, you're not gonna regret this. The link is in the description below. BNB price targets currently at $596 and it's up 2.95%. I've spoken about BNB. I think we're about to make an all-time new high. It is a bit concerning that we did make a triple peak, but bear in mind, we haven't made this triple peak. We haven't seen the peak for 868 days. It took 868 days for BNB to kiss the absolute top. We're very, very close, and this is a sleeping giant. No one talks about it. No one talks about BNB. Honestly, should receive much more love. Here is some alpha. Yeah, this is some alpha. You can take it to the bank. No, I'm joking. Don't take it to the bank. But the price action is very, very bullish. So do you know what you do? You investigate their ecosystem. So you go through all of their ecosystem, because BNB holders are going to have something called the wealth effect. They're going to find newfound money, newfound riches. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to invest in BNB coins. So since no one's talking about BNB, what do? You invest in the BNB ecosystem, the new wealth effect, the new prosperity for BNB holders. They're simply going to rotate their money inside the ecosystem. For the likes of PancakeSwap, they're going to rotate their money into PancakeSwap. They're going to put their money into PancakeSwap, Venus, and a few others. But if you want to really get some alpha, really get some edge, go onto the BNB system, ecosystem, and go buy their apps. Buy their dApps. Buy all of it, because this money is going to transfer and it's heading straight into BNB ecosystem. AVAX price targets currently at $38. $38.93. It's up 4.79%. I did say, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to go up. We're going to bounce. And we did do a nice bounce, to be fair. And we made a nice bounce, and we're heading up higher. My opinion, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we didn't see a Wyckoff distribution and we're going to head up higher. Maybe the markets were very, very scared. We got a lot of liquidations in place. There was a lot of liquidations in place. A lot of bulls and bears got liquidated. And maybe this just really reset the market so we can continue going up further and higher. You know my opinion on AVAX. You know my opinion. AVAX is gold. It's 1010. It's amazing. It is really, really good. And not everything, but a lot of its ecosystem is really, really good. I just love everything about it. This is not financial advice, but make sure you buy Trader Joe and Merchant Mo. You can thank me later. Trust me. DOGE price targets currently at 15 cents, and it's up 1.06. We've consolidated for a very, very long time. I don't think we're going to head back down into this region. I think we're going to make a higher low, which we've already made. And I think Dogecoin is not going to make an all-time new high until mania. I think until mania phase, we're not going to see an all-time new high for Doge. I think right now it's still not the time. I think interest rates have to come down, which will happen hopefully in 2025, and we'll get interest rates to come down. Stacks price targets currently at $2.88, and it's up 3.35. Remember this trend line? This is the part. This is when I traded. I bought right over here, and it was really, really good. It was a really good trade. I saw this trend line, and I thought, you know what? Look how many times it hit this trend line. And you know what it done? It hit my trend line. And we're up from this trend line all the way to here. We're up 30%. Likewise, it hit my trend line on FTM Phantom, hit my trend line. And what did I do? Same thing that I did with Stacks. Stacks, it hit my trend line. I bought, and it didn't perform as good as Stacks, but we did make a healthy return of 18%. I don't trade all the time, but if I like a setup, then I'm going to go for it and I'm going to capitalize. It was a good trade in both of these. I did tell you about this setup. If you didn't listen, it happens. I don't expect anyone to listen. I don't mind if I'm talking to one person, 0 people, 100 people, 100,000. I'm still going to upload. If you choose to listen, it's up to you. If you don't want to, then just skip and watch another video about Drake and Kendrick or whatever entertaining stuff, and then, continue being poor. Total crypto market is making a bearish wedge. Let me show you. It's making a descending wedge. Sorry, not bearish wedge. So a descending wedge is actually bullish, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the total market cap, and this is actually bullish. So we'll see what happens next. Ideally, I'm looking for something like this, and then we could just break out to the upside, which descending wedges are really bullish, to be fair. If we can break past this area, once we break that past this area, then that's confirmed. We'll retest this wedge and then this trend line, and then we can continue to go up higher and further. Total 2, same thing. We have a descending wedge from here to here, which is, like I said earlier, which is bullish in TA, ladies and gentlemen. So it is bullish. Sorry about my drawing. I'm just freestyling right now and just showing you what I can see. So this is a falling wedge. What I want to see is break past this trend line. Once we break past this trend line, go back to the scene of the crime, similar to a bump and run, and then we go up further and higher. Let's look at excluding, same thing. Let me see others. Others is going to be interesting, to be fair. Others looks really interesting. So let me go on the weekly. So others looks really, really interesting, and I can see a trend line from here all the way to there. Let me get rid of this. So I can see a massive, massive trend line. This is crypto market excluding the top 10 dominance. So I can see that others is really about to make a bounce. We're about to see a small little bounce. We still have a little bit more further to go. We have from here to here to see a real good bounce. We have 13% to go, and then hopefully we'll see a bounce in dominance, and then we can see altcoins claw back some dominance from BTC. Right now BTC is doing really, really well. I think BTC is currently at 55.25, so it's probably going to 60, and this is heading back down to 9.93. Then we can see a bounce, but every time we've made a massive bounce. So as you can see here, we made a good bounce every time we got to this was in 2016. We had a massive bounce from here to here. We had a huge bounce, and that was altcoin season. 681%. We never came back down until we got to 2019. So 2019, we made a nice systematic bounce. It wasn't too big, so we went 163%, and then finally we got to right here where we broke past this trend line. We recaptured this trend line, and we went up in 2023, May 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Remember what happened? Remember. We went 69%. So we're looking for a real altcoin season. The best altcoin season that we had, I remember, was in January 2021. That was epic. That was so epic. Clearly you can see on this chart. So from here to here, we bounced how much? 225%, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a huge, huge bounce, but obviously not as big as 2015 bull run. 2017. I mean, not as big as 2017. 2017 was a huge bull run. Sorry about that. Was from here, from that trend line all the way to here, we went up 713%. And I'm looking for it to come down. And then we can see a systematic rise from here. Maybe this is going to be the capitulation moment. Who knows? So BTC might get to 60%. So from here to here, we're like, how? from here to here to 60% will be, from 60% will be 8.74%. And let's go back to others. That's it for now. I hope you have a lovely evening, a lovely day. Hand on heart, I wish you all the best, every single one of you. Even the ones that are hating, even the ones that don't like me, I wish them all the best. That's it for now. It's your boy Ahmed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. And wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good night. Peace.